Welcome back to the Social Mānoa. This time, it's season 3. Hi, my name is Cindy, and for many of you, this is probably the very first time that you're seeing my face. And that's because, just like with many other people, the advent of the pandemic has kind of forced us to pivot and change up a few things. And so with this, we're now revamping once again the Social Mānoa, this time in both podcast and in video. So many of you, once again, know my name. My name is Cindy, and things have changed a bit. My previous co-host, Micah, has now graduated, and he's on his way now in law school in DC, so round of applause for him. But because of that, now I have a lovely new group of friends to do the Social Mānoa with. And with this, I would like to introduce all my fellow friends over here. Yay! So primarily what you're going to see in this season is hopefully we are going to be including a lot more diverse interviews. We are going to be reaching out a little bit more to our local communities because there's so many stories that we especially now want to share with seeing how everyone has cooperated or what they have done with the face of the pandemic. And so from your screen, you're going to see that my main co-host now is going to be Vanessa. Yay! However, you will be seeing all of us once again because we are all going to be rotating in and out so that we can show all of you, our viewers and listeners, a wide range of interviews and expertise. So with this, I would like my fellow co-hosts and friends to introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Vanessa. So I'm a junior this year, double majoring in psychology and sociology. I don't remember what else I was supposed to say, like my hobbies, or I'll just toss it on to someone.
Okay. I can go next.
Oh yeah, Korynn, you
or
go.
Bevin. I'm Korynn. I'm a senior this year, double majoring in natural resources and environmental management and political science. And some of my hobbies, I think it's one of the other things that are, I love to dance. So I'm taking some online dance classes right now through UH Mānoa, and I love to surf and hike a lot and snorkel. So I've been doing all those things during COVID and socially distancing.
Okay, my name's Bevin. I'm also a senior this year. I'm majoring in sociology. I'm minoring in political science, and I'm getting a certificate in law and society. Let's see, hobbies. I like to do a lot of crafts, like silly little DIYs that you see on Snapchat and stuff. I love trying that, and then it never looks like what it's supposed to, and I don't care. I love it anyway. Let's see. I guess that's a good place to start. I'm excited to graduate, and things that I've been doing since COVID started. Yeah, a lot of crafting. I've been hanging out with my cat. I try to go to the beach whenever I can, but pretty boring. So yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah-Lyn, or Sarah, Trevor. I don't have a preference what you call me. I am a senior. I'm double majoring in human development and family studies and sociology. Some of my hobbies that I enjoy are making clay. I used to intern at a learning center, so I know how to make like several different types of clay with different flowers as well. But right now I'm waiting for my garden to grow some more tea leaves so I can make more lei. And then other hobbies I've been trying to indulge myself in since the COVID-19 pandemic started was baking and cooking.
Shucks. Okay, I should probably introduce my hobbies too then. Okay. I guess some of my hobbies are really just like watching a lot of different things because like of social distancing. So like I watch anime. Yeah, I feel like I also play with like my cat a lot. So her name's Momo. She's really nice. Yeah.
I also play with my cat a lot. She's so happy that I'm home during COVID.
Awesome. Well, for all of our viewers and listeners, now you kind of know a little bit more about ourselves. We are all very much engaged at the local university, UH Manoa. So if you see any of us on campus, don't be afraid to reach out to us and say hi. We are also very much active in trying to help as many students as possible succeed and thrive. So for this episode, kind of to welcome us into season 3, and hopefully this time nothing will kind of throw a wrench in the middle of our plans like last season. We're gonna take this very first episode as a chance to kind of get to know us a little bit more and to kind of expand on what we can offer, our areas of research or interest, and also how we look forward to working with more students this year and trying to still help them succeed even with everything that's going on with the pandemic. So with this, Vanessa, do you want to ask our first question?
Yeah, sure. So I guess like everybody pretty much quite answered this already. Like, what have you been doing since COVID-19 hit? So I'm just gonna move on to the next question. So like, why did you decide to become an ambassador? If anybody wants to answer that.
I wanted to become an ambassador because I'm also an ambassador for another college. And I really like spreading new knowledge to students about everything that each college has to offer, because a lot of people don't know all the opportunities within a college, and there's so much that can be seen and done. And I also like to host events for people to come together and either learn new things or make new friends or just have a good time.
Nice. Okay, I can go next. I wanted to do a quick side note. Sarah, I've also been cooking and baking a lot. So if you have any recipes, I have some that I can send your way. We can exchange. I would love to do that. Anyway, the question was, ambassador, I'm so sorry. I chose to become an ambassador because I thought that right now everyone is feeling so disconnected. This would give us a way to feel some pride in our school and still make us feel connected and have a sense of community, even though we can't physically be on campus. So I thought now is a better time than any to do this, even though we can't do typical things that maybe groups on campus would normally do, like host events.
I guess the main reason why I wanted to become an ambassador is because, well, I do love networking with people, and yes, college, especially during your undergraduate years, it's a very big time for us students to explore these amazing opportunities, take advantage of whatever is out there for them, but also to explore and get to know themselves as well, trying different things. And my area of study, which is human development family studies, we talk about linking to resources and different services that will help you and benefit your future. So I felt like the ambassadorship does a lot of those kind of things. And I also wasn't able to become an ambassador for that college, which is the same college that Korynn is an ambassador for. So I thought this would be an exciting opportunity. And going back to Bevin, I've been making pan lau lau because we have so much kalo in my garden. So I can share that recipe with you whenever.
Please.
That's amazing, Sarah. Where do you live?
I live in Nanakuli. So I guess, well, gardening has become a very popular hobby for my family. And my brother he used to farm at Ma'o Farm. It's in YNI area. And then he now works at Kapapalo'io Kanewai, which is at UH Manoa. So he really helped my dad get into a lot of gardening. And yeah, we have so much vegetables now.
That's amazing. I need to make a garden in my backyard. One of the things I have not gotten around to doing during COVID, but there's no excuse.
No, I was just about to say, I'm just so jealous of everybody, cooking and, baking and, gardening during COVID, because, my house is under construction, so everything is, I don't have any kitchen to cook in or bake in.
I mean, the rest of y'all are connecting with nature. Meanwhile, I am here drowning in essays and job applications. So I would very much would have enjoyed baking with all of you guys. Hopefully that's something that we can all do after this pandemic is kind of over. fingers crossed on a lot of things. But yes, so all of us are, in case it wasn't really known by now, all of us are also ambassadors within our college discipline. And that's how primarily we got to know each other, but we've also been able now to connect outside of that and really become, I think, on the way to becoming really close friends. All of us really have a lot of overlapping passions, and we all have like this drive to want to help other students as well. I think all of us have been lucky enough to still find some success within this pandemic, and we've all been supported along the way by so many people that have given up their time and energy, that we really want to make ourselves available now to other students as well, because this time is quite scary for especially a lot of our younger students or our younger peers as well. And so we want to still provide them with the resources that is needed to help them succeed, as long as helping all of our same age peers as well find a way to succeed post-college life, because things have been a little bit more difficult now. But I'm very hopeful that all of us can work hard together and we can all find success together.
Yeah. Speaking upon which, I don't think Cindy you answered the question yet. So why did you become an ambassador?
Okay, so I've been an ambassador now, I think the longest of everyone. This is my second year. It's quite funny. The very first time that I did this program, it was at the behest of one of my mentors. And it was very funny. He approached me. He was like, listen, I know you don't like putting yourself out there. I know you don't like people coming up to you and trying to just grab your attention, but I think you would make a great ambassador. I think you would make a great representative for the college. And I was like, are you sure about that? But I did take his offer. I did try to use this as a chance to learn how to grow, learning how to say yes to new opportunities, even though they at first scare me. And this is where I am at now. It's my second year, and I've come to love helping students as in any way that I possibly can. I see a lot of myself when I was just first starting out in college, and my younger peers and then my same age peers. I see a lot of also still myself in that we all share the same struggles and trying to get through college together and then find a job. But all of us have such untapped potential that if there was a way to kind of guide that, then I really think we can all find some ways to utilize our skills and our interests in the best way possible. So I want to help students connect that because I've been fortunate enough to do so.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering. I guess like for myself, I really just wanted to like bring opportunities of research to other students, because I feel like when I was trying to apply to all these different labs for psychology, like I didn't really know what to do. So yeah, hopefully somebody out there would like take something from this or like from what I'm doing. But yeah, moving on to the next question. So for anybody who does want to apply for or become an ambassador for next year, what are some of the qualities that you know, some of the student leaders should possess, or what are some things that you know, that they should try to do to become an ambassador?
I can start with this one. I definitely always put friendliness first for things like this, because when people are approachable for things, it's so nice for like younger or newer students or anyone who has any questions about anything, for someone to be friendly and approachable. And then I said intelligence, of course, and then outgoingness. So the ability to talk to others and either recruit people or tell people about different opportunities and expand the horizons of students who may not be doing everything that they want to do yet within the college or within University of Hawaii as a whole.
Yes, I would agree. I would say the friendliness and being approachable is big. And the thing that I thought of when you first posed this question was being okay with being a doer and not a dreamer. Like, if that makes sense, like really what we're doing is we're trying to make changes that we are not okay with, and we're the ones who are trying to take an active role in actually changing that and being the voice of students. So I think that's really effective, but it's also difficult.
I guess what I would say is be open to, learn and be willing to stay open to new things, try new things, and you never know what's gonna happen next as well. So as long as you're confident and you put your best foot forward, I think it'll work out for best in the end.
For me, I have I definitely do agree with what everyone has already said. Definitely being an approachable character, being someone that others can confide in is really important because that's how you build trust. I will also add that you should be okay with saying, I don't know, or you should be okay with the unknown, because I think there's a misconception that as a leader, and especially as a student leader, it's a bit of a euphemism. We're students, so on one hand, we don't know too much, but at the same time, we're still leaders in our own rights, even though we don't know too much, because the experiences that we have already accumulated doesn't discount anything that we don't know. And I think even with that unknown, it's okay if someone asks you a question, you say, and you have no idea what to do. It's okay to say, I don't know, let me do some research and then get back to you, because at the very minimum, at least it shows others that you're willing to take the steps to learn, because we're all still learning anyway. So I don't think there's ever an expectation that if for anything that you're doing, if you're trying to be a leader of a club, ambassadors like us, or maybe just like a leader within like your own friend groups in order to support them, I don't think there's ever should be a burden to be the know-it-all. It's bounce off of each other's energy and learn to grow with each other.
Cool. So, what are some of the goals that everybody has that they want to achieve as an ambassador then?
I want to say I definitely want to improve my leadership skills. There are many times where I want to take the lead, whether it be a group project or a program duty, but sometimes I don't know how to navigate how to really manage a task and lead a group to success. So that's something I want to improve on.
I would say I'm excited about a few different projects right now, but overall, I'm excited to be working with this group of wonderful women that I'm already learning so much from. Like little things like editing or using the right language to put your point in the most effective way. Little things like that, but also just becoming more professional. And it's like, it's not just great on your resume. I'm also learning the skills that would help me get hired theoretically. So things like that in general.
Yeah, I agree with what Bevin said. And I also want to just get better at like hosting events or hosting things like this, like podcasts. Vanessa and Cindy are doing an awesome job already of like keeping the ball rolling, and I definitely want to get better at that. And then also to meet new people. It's on my list of things I wanted to do more of. It's hard to do in a virtual time like right now, but that's definitely so nice being in this group. And our group chat is always blowing up with stuff, and it's super nice to connect, even though I have never met any of these wonderful women in person. Doesn't change the friendship.
I will say the first thing I definitely want to learn is how we can time our talking with one another and not trying to talk over each other. I think that's definitely a new challenge in the era of online meetings. There's people it's harder to kind of time like when someone's going to speak or all of that. So we've had many instances where there's awkward silences because we don't know when to cut in. But I think on a more serious note, I really am looking forward to seeing what are some of like the new ways we can reach out to people? I think there's definitely this perception that for all of us that's kind of grown up with the internet or with like these technologies that we're using, where we have to be experts at that and we have to be experts at building relations through that. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think we struggle just like anyone else trying to find meaningful connection in an environment where we can't be next to each other, or we can't give each other hugs, like how I think a lot of us in Hawaii, it's one of like the very first things that we do when we see each other is to give each other a hug, because we miss one another and we just want to show our warmth for one another. So I think I'm definitely looking for ways to still try to transmit that through the internet, still through online, but still being as open and engaging as possible. What about you, Vanessa?
Yeah, I feel like, I guess some of the goals that I really wanted to try and achieve as an ambassador is just mostly connecting with people as much as possible. And like, I feel like because as a co-host for the Social Mānoa, like I'm trying to connect or email as much possible, or email people as much as possible to like get them onto this podcast, right? So definitely like professional language is something I really wanted to learn more about. Yeah, hopefully like through just talking to more people, I'll be I'll able to be a better social student leader. Yeah. Sorry, let me move on to the next question. I totally forgot. Okay, so what futures do you see that the ambassador program will gear towards?
I could see the program expanding beyond what we currently have. I'm not sure how large it's been in the past, but definitely in my mind, the more the merrier, and that even more could be done, and even more podcasts hosted, and even more events taken initiative, and even more changes for the betterment of students and faculty alike, with a larger number of ambassadors. So I see growth as a possible future.
I would say, I'm sorry, Cindy, were you gonna go?
No, you can go ahead.
I'm sorry, I love the Zoom. I would say yes, growth, hopefully. I think also we've all talked about this, but how we have to use a lot of our ideas as more of a think tank and kind of in a theoretical way. So hopefully future ambassadors can continue on with our legacy, but also put some of our ideas into practice. That's what I would hope for. But also I'm hoping that we can actually do whatever we can, but just that obviously, or well, hopefully, future ambassadors will have more options for events and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely do think that we are on the track to expanding, to growing, because as much as I love like a small tight-knit group, it will be exciting to see how a bigger group would look like and seeing what kind of new ideas come out. I've been fortunate enough to see different ambassadors coming through this program, and so every new group of ambassadors always brings in something new. And I can honestly say this group of ambassadors, we've been the most engaging so far, and I'm always so excited every single week that we have our meetings, because everyone brings such good energy. Everyone is excited to try something new, and I think for the future that's really what it's going to be about, because if there's anything that this time period, this entire year has taught us, is that there's a good thing to being flexible, to being able to pivot, because then we can build off on the things that we've already been doing, but in a new way. And that leads us oftentimes to new innovations as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing just everything that we plan, as Bevin says, not only being implemented, but being carried forward as well, maybe in a virtual way. We can still have a virtual component so we can reach out to a lot of people, but also still have or regain back that in-person connections.
Yeah, I definitely see this ambassadorship. I hope to grow both what was the term? Both like person wise and then of course event wise, because the college we represent is one of the biggest colleges on campus. So I feel like hoping this ambassadorship gains more recognition and just having our events and the other things that we do expand more. And also what you were all were saying to virtual options as well, mixed in with in-person options.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, in terms of like growth, I really wanted to like grow the Instagram or grow the Facebook pages, because I noticed like our generation usually uses Instagram a lot more. And in that sense, like if we can get our opportunities out to our students as much as possible, like the political internship programs, a lot more other very exciting programs that we do have, I really wanted everybody to take a look at. So yeah, so let's get a little bit more personal, right? So what are some of the first places that you would go after this pandemic?
I was supposed to go to Thailand and Vietnam with my best friend Michaela all during August of this year, but that did not happen. So those would definitely be my first places to go. And I wrote down I would love to go hiking there, and I would definitely love to eat the food there, especially in Thailand. And I also want to like explore the history of places, especially in Vietnam. So those are my first places. I hope it happens soon. It will.
Yes, I hope so too for you and your friend.
In May, I was supposed to go to Japan. We were flying into Osaka with my family, but that got canceled. My parents were doing a round the world trip, and I was invited to part of it because I was taking summer classes, which ended up being in person or online anyway. But yeah, I wasn't able to go to Japan, so I'd probably go there, and then hopefully I'd also visit my brother who currently lives in Virginia.
Well, my plans have not been put on hold yet, my international travel plans. I'm fingers crossed, still hoping to get to go to Singapore in this upcoming summer. I've already been to Singapore once, but I think the second time is always a little bit more fun because you can afford to just dig a little bit deeper into like the more local culture, and you get the first time around you get all of the more touristy things done with. And so the second time around, I'm hoping to explore a little bit what it's like to be a Singapore local. And I've also been fortunate enough to meet some of my friends now some of my closest friends actually, who came from Singapore to study in Hawaii. And I met them after I had my first trip. And so it'll be really fun the second time around to have them kind of take me around their home, because I've tried to take them at least around Hawaii, trying to show off this beautiful place I live in. And I would love to see how they present their home, because I think we're always excited to show off what we love. So definitely want to look forward to that. But fingers crossed it doesn't get canceled. And I'm really sorry to Bevin and Korynn how your trips got put on hold. I can feel the devastation.
For everyone, for so many people. So mine was just a pleasure trip, so it wasn't anything necessary, but definitely enjoyable. Thank you, Cindy.
For me, I just realized, because I've been so caught up in school, work, and internship stuff, that I totally forgot my family and I were supposed to go to we were supposed to go to Disneyland, I think during spring break. So it was this year's spring break, and then the whole quarantine started, and that got canceled. And then we were supposed to go to Vegas either this November or Christmas break to celebrate my brother's 21st birthday. And I know my parents have been planning it for like the last 1-2 years or so. And we're the kind of family that I mean, we're not rich, but we are, financially stable, but we're always working, so we want to give ourselves family time to go to Disneyland or Las Vegas. But yeah, all of those got put on hold. So now we're probably going to go back to planning for the Vegas trip. I think maybe next year or next summer, anything. So yeah, those would be like the first places me and my family would go to.
Yeah, hopefully everybody gets a chance. And actually, Bevin, I was actually planning on going to Japan too because I was gonna visit my best friend. Yeah, she had tickets to SeaWorld for free, and then the pandemic happened, right? So we couldn't go. Um, so hopefully it still works and it's not expired by then. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, low-key, I was supposed to go to Disney World over spring break because my friend was doing the college program, and then they all got laid off.
Oh my God.
But she had free tickets, so I don't know. I just want to go to Disney World for free. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, dude. We could meet up in Japan.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would love
We've never
that.
met each other in Hawaii.
And then during that time, I'll be like legal to drink. Yeah.
What's
Speaking
the
of,
drinking age in Japan? Is it 19?
I think it was 20.
Oh, it might be 20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's funny. I hope it works out for you.
Thank you. Thank you. So speaking of friends, how would some of your friends describe you? I think this would probably be one of the last few questions, just because of timing wise.
I wrote down outgoing, vibrant, excited, and nonstop because I really like to always be doing something, and I'm not the lazy type of person who likes to sit around the house. Not that people that like to sit around the house are lazy, but I don't like to sit around the house. Let me rephrase that. And I definitely love being outdoors. And as soon as my school day's over, I run outside and go surfing or go hiking for the last bit of daylight. But it's been difficult recently with the sunset going down at 6 rather than 7:30 like it was at the beginning of the summer. So had less daylight time, but still making the most of it.
I would say my friends would probably describe me as obnoxiously outgoing and loud, and I also just strike up a conversation anytime, anywhere, which is difficult. And it's like a reflex. Like with COVID, you're not supposed to talk in the elevators where I live, and I feel so awkward just standing there. But that's a rule. So I just stand there awkwardly, and I'm like, I'm being so rude right now, and the other person probably doesn't think anything of it. But that's probably how my friends would describe me.
I think the characteristics would differ based on how much of a love-hate relationship I have. I love all my friends, but some of us are more competitive than others, and so there's a friendly competition going on. So depending on how friendly that competition is or is not, that might change. But I think all of my friends can kind of agree that I'm a go-getter and probably also a workaholic. I've very much gone down the rabbit hole of caffeine addiction, trying to dig myself out of that because it's nice to not be addicted to caffeine. But I guess I always just strive to kind of do my best and to say yes to as many opportunities as possible. I think growing up, I had a kind of a different attitude. I was a lot more quieter, more shy, and more reserved. Definitely, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Or to do like this ambassadorship or this podcast, I would be too shy to get anywhere near camera. And I'm still definitely working with that to be much more open and approachable, which is why I'm very happy to have my fellow ambassadors and friends here, because all of them are such bright and lovely characters that I feel better. It balances out any kind of aloofness I may give off if I'm not immediately approachable. But I am trying to work hard to say yes to as many opportunities as possible. But of course, the downside is the more opportunities I take on, the less opportunities I get to sleep. So that's something that I will Definitely work on the moment this semester ends. I will catch up on all the sleep I missed.
Yes, and I can definitely relate to that. I guess some word or some words that my friends would describe me, and they're kind of like they all intertwine with each other. So some would describe me as outgoing, optimistic, and friendly, and that can all be interrelated with one another because I I am that one person who does say hi to everyone in the classroom, even on the Zoom classroom, and nobody says hi back. But it's okay. I say hi. I do like making new friends and wanting to include everyone in a group or the organization club that whichever one I'm a part of. I make sure that I'm able to through that conversation I can like also create that connection with them in order for for one another to help each other. And I guess another word would be um determined, because I like just like what Sydney described herself, like I am a go-getter. I have not reached that level of workaholic yet, but or I actually realized that I almost did this past summer. So that's why this semester I've taken a lot of chances to uh, just limit my commitments. I love saying yes to many opportunities, but also it's important to take care of your priorities now. Even though I want to try everything, but it's okay to have that balance in life. And then I guess a third word would, or the last word that my friends would describe me is resilient, because and I'm sure everyone knows how where they find it, where they navigate their strength from, or how they've grown as a resilient person. But when it comes to like when I talking bond with my friends who have Native Hawaiian background, they when we bond through our culture and learn about it, it kind of like gives us this resiliency that say, hey, that we're strong, we're Kanaka, like we can get through whatever it is that's thrown at us. And I'm not trying to like separate Native Hawaiians from like everyone else, but it can be seen like or compared to like everyone and what they go through as well. And then I'm also from Nanakuli, which is besides maybe Kalihi and other parts of Hawaii, it's an area where like over 80% Native Hawaiians live, and they experience many adverse conditions. But fortunately, I never experienced any of those. So I just feel like during my childhood here, I've grown to become strong and just against like all these stereotypes. Um, whether it's about my Native Hawaiian blood or about my community, and that's something I really want to pass on to like the next generation. Sorry, that was really long, but I was trying to navigate where I was going here.
No. Thank you so much for bringing up any of like the things that you and your friends are up to, and then also about the population in Hawaii. Yeah, there's definitely quite a lot of I'm trying to find an appropriate word here. Things going on. Yeah,
I mean, there's many things going around. It's not just on people like me. It's everywhere.
Jesus.
That is something I want to clarify during my.
Yeah. But honestly, I was just about to say, like, all your friends are just so kind. Mine would just be like, oh my gosh, she's so weird, or she's like too talkative, or I don't know, something like, it's just, but hopefully they think that like I'm a kind person, if that matters.
Vanessa, I think all of us thinks you are a very kind person. You have a very bubbly soul. Like you
Thank
are
you.
weird in the most
Speak in a
lovable way as
great way.
possible. So,
Oh my god, the love and support. Oh. But yeah, I didn't want to be like, oh my gosh, I'm saying that I'm kind. But yeah, so hopefully everybody gets like a chance to like get to know us a little bit more. But yeah, I think we should stop the recording here. If anybody has any last few words.
Nope. I guess my only last few words would be I'm excited to see where this all goes. This is definitely a much more organic format that we're doing because I think we've all kind of realized that there's unique difficulties when it comes to this pandemic. I think this pandemic has also kind of dropped some walls between people. Like we've all gone online and we've all had people like walking into our camera. Someone's like, we've had cats, lovely cats walking into the frame, but that doesn't make any of us like, it doesn't make any of our contributions less professional. I think it's also humanized all of us because it's like, hey, you have a cat, I have a cat, let's compare cats together. I don't have a cat, but seeing all of your cats makes me want to have my own cat. So I think I'm definitely looking forward to especially this new format where things are, things go a little bit more haywire. If there's a little bit more weird quirks, then that's the weird quirks. And I think that's the loveliness of all of our relations as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Cindy, for this kind last words. But yeah, hopefully, I'll just stop the recording.